right, the first thing it tells you to do is put the front forks on. Okay, so this nut right here, we're just going to make sure it's a little bit loose so the triple clamps can move okay. Kind of have the handlebars laying out in the front. And then it wants us to put the forks on here, and these are the 6mm Allen head bolts up here and down here. Okay, I loosened this up. This little spacer dropped out of here, and there's no way, and it doesn't show this in the directions anywhere. So obviously it's just something for shipping. Now on the left-hand fork with the caliper sitting here, you want to put it on the left side, and then this should sit like that and fit up in here. And then it said just put that flush right there, if you can see it. The top part of the fork is going to sit flush with the top triple clamp. And what we'll do is just kind of tighten this a little and just set that there. Okay, just got it a little bit snug. These turn down here, so when you put the tire on, not too big a deal. Let's make sure we put the handlebars here out of the way. So if you can kind of see this, I've put the handlebars up in here out of the way. The caliper or the brake, we're going to run it down here in between here when we mount that. So this cable is going to go inside that. Looks like 2 Phillips. So we'll make sure this is set up. Just make sure the bars are out of the way and your lines are kind of run over here, and that should be good. Let's put the other fork on and get it. So this will be the right hand side, and again, if you look at it, it should go just like this, these two. Here's that spacer again. So yeah, I guess that's just something for shipping. They put it there. We'll take that out. Loosen, that's already loose. Okay. Well, it fits in there tight, so. All right, we'll slide this in. Put this here. Again, you don't need it up high. We're gonna put it in flush like that. And then let's tighten it up. And snug this up. Okay, so that's the front forks on there. We're going to take the 2 bolts that look like this. There's 3 in here that are like that, so it's not one of those. There's only 2 like this, and so we need to mount up in here so to hold these side panels on. 5mm Allen, which you have the socket in the, or not the socket, you have the tool that came with it. But we'll kind of set these here. We're going to put it tells us to put the front tire on next. So we are going to need the tire. We need this axle shaft here and the 2 spacers. This is a 14mm on this end and a 17mm here. So you do a 14 and 17 wrenches or sockets, whatever. And then these spacers we're gonna put on, they're gonna go in between here. When you put the front tire on, just make sure the disc is on this side. If you can see the whole bike, because we gotta put the caliper on that. So we'll start this in here, and then we'll put our spacer on it. And then set it here. You can see we're going to kind of run that through a little bit. Let it almost poke out here. We're going to pull that back, if you can see there. Let's set our spacer here. And then kind of line it up in here. And then just tap it. Well, so we'll move that, if you can see. These forks twist pretty easy. You can hear it kind of hitting. And there it goes. Let's line it up. There we go. All right, so we got the spacer here. The bolts coming through. We can just kind of tap it. All right, so it's all the way through here. Spacer here. and then it comes out there, and we'll put our nut right here. So this is the 17, and it's going to turn some. 14 over here, and just tighten it up. All right, I didn't see any torque specs on it, but get it pretty tight, and maybe check this once or twice after the kids or whoever ride it a little bit. Okay, I would go ahead and spin it. There's no noise, nothing funky. And that was it on the front tire. So we've taken the handlebars, we're gonna lay them right here. Notice the little notchy things cut in here. That'll be so it gets a good grip. You probably have to put whoever's riding it on here to adjust it where it feels comfortable to them. We'll take these little brackets that were in the plastic bag. This is a 6mm bolts. There's 4 of them, and there's only 4 for that, so you're pretty hard to mess that one up. And we'll put these in here real quick. So I would just kind of hand start these, and it has the little tool for that. I'm gonna just set it right there for now till I get a chance to put it. And let's tighten that up just a little. Tighten that up a little. Across here. And then here. One thing we need to do is tighten this nut up right here. Okay, it tells you what size this is metric, but I just got a crescent wrench, and we'll just put on here. We need to tighten this up. I'm kind of feeling it when I tighten it, because I don't know that you want to really crank down on it, but you don't want it loose. So all feels pretty good here. Okay, next, it wants us to put the rear shock on, and then here was the mud flap, and we'll set it in here. The other bolts you're going to need for that are up in here. You don't have to go look for those, and they are a 5mm. All right, so we're going to take these bolts here. Take that out. Take that out for the mud flap. It shows the nut going on this side. So there's a hole in here. We're going to run the shock through that, and I guess the flap just kind of sits down under there. You're going to need to raise this swing arm and the tire up. So kind of hold it. Oops, start the bolt. And then slide it through here. All right, it's a little crooked. Okay, just kind of push it through. Here's the nut. We'll put that on here. Looks like a lock nut, I think. Yep, so that's good. And so the bigger size here, over here, is a 14, and this is a 13. In the directions it said it was a 12, but it is not. You come over here with a 14 and just tighten this up. You want to get this pretty tight because there's going to be a lot of force on it. Okay, it's pretty snug. So now we'll put our mud flap piece in here, if you can see it. So we'll start that one, and then we'll put this other one in. Oops. There it is. Okay, so we'll start that. And now the rear shock's on. Okay, here's the brake caliper. We're gonna be mounting it in here, but we also have to make sure this goes on the rotor so the brakes will actually work. We have to take these screws out. So it came with the screws already into the caliper. This is a 5mm. So we'll take these out. Again, make sure this groove goes inside this rotor here, so your brakes will actually work. We'll put one of our little bolts here. If you can see that. Just kind of hand start it. Move your rotor a little here, or your caliper, and then you can tighten it. I'm just gonna get it go a little bit. Okay, and we'll come back. Okay. Yep. Okay, so the front brake is up here on the right side. So we'll just kind of roll the wheel and squeeze it, make sure that works, and it does. All right, so let's take these little Phillips screws off. Not digging this screwdriver. That's okay. Okay, let's put the other one in. It's going to move around in here just a little bit. Line that up. And got our brake line here. Okay, next we're going to put the front fender on. It's going to go right here. And you see these little pieces sticking up, they actually go up in front of here. So it's going to go something like that. There's 3 bolts that'll hold it. So you can kind of see here, it's going to go here, here, and here. That's the 3 bolt areas you're going to put through here. So it's this hole, and this one. So I just kind of set one in here. We're going to sort of set it up in there where we can see it. I'm just going to start it by hand. Now let's do this front one. So you can kind of see I'm poking it through the hole. We're going to run it up in here. And start that one. We got the 3rd bolt. And we'll set it here. So those 3 are on there. And again, it's a 5mm. Okay. Okay, and then the last one. Let's tighten that up. Okay, so our fender's on tight. Okay, we're gonna put the number plate on. See these 2 little tabs here? They're gonna go in the holes that were on the front fender. So that's cool, make it kind of strong. One thing too, on a lot of all the decals on the bike, it has the little white cover on it. So you can just kind of take that and, you know, peel that off on everything. There we go. And that piece there. We're also going to make sure the brake line runs through here. Kind of protect it. There's these 2 nuts right here we need to take out. Hey, one thing too, before you put that on, let's move these wires. Kind of split them here in this case and protect them back out of the way. And these we need to take out. Okay. Now we're going to make sure those 2 tabs down there are going to fall into here. And then the brake line will run over here. We'll make sure these holes line up here. To put this in, we can kind of get the one. Oops. Get the one and we're going to lay it in here. Okay. And then do the second one. Brake line not catching on anything, that's cool. In the directions here, it says a fuse box attached to the right side. When I look, I see where it's disconnected in here, but I don't see a picture like where it's showing there's some type of little fuse. So it's probably in here somewhere, it's just maybe not there where they're saying it is. Before I turn anything on, just to kind of test, let's take this little cover here and look at what settings are on here for the power. All right, so it has a little safety screw on it. Oh, that's so if you want to turn it down, then it tells you in here the min and max settings. So they're all at minimum and throttle is fine. All right, so the default settings was everything was at minimum, which is fine. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to plug this in. I've got the key in here. The key sits over here on the side, and it came in the little package. This only goes one way. If you look at the connector, it's got a flat side and a flat side. All right, so we plug that in, turn the key on. Okay, and all right, we got this for showing you the power. Oh, here's on and off. Okay, so I push that in. Well, let's take it off. Okay, so when you push it in, nothing happens. Do it out. And I'm just kind of doing it slow, just to see. See what it looks like. I hear the little chain going, everything. Okay, so it's got a chain tensioner or a rubber one underneath here that it's riding on, so it's kind of cool. The swing arm's down low right now, it doesn't have any weight on it, so you can hear it running across that. I'd probably keep some chain lube around to keep your chain lubed up. All right, so that's seems good. Where is the power and speed? Let's just test it. We'll go max power and speed. Okay, let's check the brake. Yep. Okay, and that's it. We got it all put together. We'll take all the decal protections off. All right, let's try. Oh yeah. Little thing zips nice. Not bad.